criticism over the force's handling of a vigil in memory of Sarah Everard. Live to Carlisle in Cumbria, where we can talk to Caroline James. She's a senior lecturer in criminology and policing at the University of Cumbria and also a former police officer. Thank you so much for talking to us. Your initial reaction about what happened this weekend?
It's very shocking to watch those clips, isn't it? Very disturbing. It's been a really challenging week for women, full stop. And what happened at Clapham Common, I think, has disturbed everybody. And I really do welcome that the police watchdog are going to do a review of the policing that night, and the Prime Minister's statement that, Sarah's death really must unite us. Violence against women and girls is endemic in our society, and the criminal justice system does, invariably has not taken this seriously, and this is what you're seeing. This is the strength of emotion, driven by fear, driven by worry, driven by many, many years of campaigning and things not really seeming to change.
So many calls for the Commissioner to resign, the government's backing her. I mean, do you think that is the answer, or is it really an entire systemic change?
I don't think that's particularly helpful. It's such a complex situation, and we do know policing is really challenging. I'm a former police officer myself. I know what the job entails, and it's been particularly challenging in the last 12 months. And I don't think calling for Cressida Dick to resign is particularly helpful. What we need is the focus on the deep underlying problems regarding violence against women and girls in the criminal justice system. It is difficult to talk about this when we feel like we've been campaigning for so many years, and there is so we have a violence against women and girls strategy. There is.
Have you? Sorry to interrupt. Have you personally been involved in campaigning?
Yes, I mean, I as a police officer, I witnessed women as victims of domestic violence and sexual offences are not being taken seriously, and something that was sort of became a strong passion of mine. And I've been part of the Domestic Violence Champion Network, and I teach criminology and policing, and a lot of my area of research and concern is violence against women and girls. So and again, I've also worked in another community role after I left the police, where I worked with black victims. So absolutely, I feel in my own way I am an activist. I couldn't go out that night, and I don't live anywhere near London, but if I could, I would have gone. And it does feel like we've just been on with this for so many years, and the statements are wonderful and the rhetoric is wonderful, but actually it has to be translated into reality and a change in attitude quite often.
I just want to briefly say we're going to play footage of that night, and there's a lot of flash photography, and we just want to warn you about that. But I want to pick up on something you said. It wasn't taken seriously. It isn't taken seriously. Domestic violence, any violence against women. Who isn't taking it seriously, and why not?
Okay, so firstly, I don't want to say here that not every single police officer or every professional in the criminal justice system doesn't take this seriously, because absolutely many of them do, and there have been very welcome changes in the policing. But I have to say that it is still a problem. Victim blaming, stereotypes of, particularly with sexual offences of women, what they wear, how they dress, how they behave. I mean, I've even heard and I read somewhere that there has been, why did Sarah walk home through the common? I mean, there is no other victim in the criminal justice system, but victims of intimate partner violence or domestic violence, sexual offences, where there is so much culpability in the hands of the victim, and that permeates through the criminal justice system. So attitudes and that, it has to be taken seriously from the very beginning. So the perspective that that victim isn't to blame for that situation, and it is treated as a crime, it is investigated as a crime, and quite often you hear this, there's lack of evidence. it can be lack of evidence gathering, and that follows through the criminal justice system. We have problems with rape convictions, you know, so few get to court and there are so few convictions, and there is discussions and an inquiry at the moment looking at, you know, is it around these, you know, the stronger cases are the cases where the victim does not have culpability or any perceived culpability, and has not done anything to bring this on themselves, and they're not going forward to court. There is a cultural attitude and that needs to change, and it does permeate. And you know, there is so much research on this. It is there within the literature.
Well, let's hope we do see a change. Carolyne, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Some breaking news now on the